Welcome to The Photography Guy. I'm your host, The Photography Guy. Let's get started here with another great photo show. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again to The Photography Guy for episode number 26. This is being recorded Sunday, September the 8th, 2013. I'd like to welcome you into the chat room there, and if you are viewing live, welcome to the show. This show is recorded each Sunday morning, and this is also, it started out mainly as a podcast. So if you don't know what a podcast is, traditionally it's an audio podcast, and I would upload these to iTunes. But with a lot of people wanting the Sunday morning shows back, I thought this would be a great time to record the Photography Guy on Sunday mornings, and now we do it as a live show. So it is featured now on Justin TV. If you go to justin.tv/Jack's Tech Corner, that's where you're going to find these shows. And then I'll post it on YouTube. You will find it if you search for 42 Techno Man on YouTube. You'll find my channel there. Or just go to jackstechcorner.com or thephotographyguy.net and you'll have all the links available to you. So today, folks, I don't know if you're into this or not. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I know you're here for photography, for some kind of editing. And today we're going to learn more about Photoshop Elements 11. I first started out, a lot of you know, as a Photoshop Elements instructor, teaching everybody, along the way how to use Photoshop Elements. And a lot of you guys and gals out there have been super great at learning and picking stuff up. Today we're going to look at actions. We're going to find where we can find actions. And with Photoshop Elements 11, a new little thing they snuck in, there's a really easy way to load actions. I taught this before quite a while ago, and it was really, really hard to load actions onto your Photoshop Elements. You had to find the files, you had to put them into the folders, and you had to know where everything went, rebuild the database, and it was really, really a pain. Today, it's real easy to do. Once we do that, then I'm going to have a picture I'm going to show you because I've been getting a lot of emails, tons of emails that says, Jack, can you help us out a little bit and show us how to extract something from a picture? Today we're going to extract my dog from a background. And I wanted to pick the dog because it's really hard to do. And we will try to pull out some of that fur without losing a lot of the ends. And that's really critical when you're taking, especially people off of a background. It's really, really important. Now, first of all, we're going to talk about, before we ever start here, we're going to talk first off about what is an action. What does an action do? First, an action is just basically a pre-built set of instructions, and this is normally written in the full version of Photoshop. So if you have the full version of Photoshop, you can actually click on record, and you would record each thing you do. Now, I would suggest if you do this, if you create an action, write it down first because you don't want to fumble around. I've tried this before, and I fumbled around a little bit, and what happens is when you start to fumble is it just appears to be that way because there's different actions and different things coming up, and if you're fumbling around, it's not going to work out too well for you. So write it down if you have Photoshop and you're building an action. Now, these instructions basically just comes down to a way to do a certain edit or a way something is performed. If you don't have the full version of Photoshop, you're not left out, folks, because with Photoshop Elements 11 and being allowed to import them, you can't record them in Elements, but we can import them and use them. And I found a great site out there. I think I showed it to you before. We're going to look at it again today to find some free actions. And that is really important to be able to pull those and download those. We're going to show you how to download them. Then I'll show you how to import them right into your Photoshop Elements 11. We're going to talk about importing them, like I said, into Elements 11. I'm trying to read my show notes as we're going along. And it's really easy anymore. Just about as easy as clicking your mouse. So let's go ahead, first of all, we're going to go ahead and talk about and look at where we would find these actions. So let me change my screens around, as always, like we'd like to do here in the morning. And for the listening audience, for the audio audience out there, I will be telling you where we can find this stuff. Here we go. Just switch this camera over here. Okay, so where you want to go to find these actions is a place called thecoffeeshopblog.com. Now, the coffee shop blog has been written, I guess I've been reading some of the, I like to read who creates blogs. I think that's pretty important because I have so many of them. This happens to be a stay-at-home mom, and she is homeschooling two young boys, ages 8 and 6. And she's also a wife of her high school sweetheart, and she has a passion, like all you do, for photography. So at the coffeeshopblog.com, if you click on free stuff right at the very top in her menus, and look for Photoshop PSE Actions and Presets. That's where we're going. So we're going to click on Actions and Presets. Now, she does have a donate button. If you really like her work, you can donate to her. She's a really great creator of this stuff. And she also has a lot of free actions. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be looking for some free actions. So, if I scroll down here, and we're going to click right here, you can download the actions if you click on the little HTML link. Now, we'll go back one. This is live TV here, so we have to deal with this a little bit. Alright, so you can click and look at the before and after shots. So if you just scroll down at the Photoshop/PSE actions, you can actually scroll down and you can see these different actions on here. Now we are going to be working today on a portrait that I have taken a while ago. And so I'm looking for something here that's going to work on a portrait. I had one this morning. It was really neat. I really liked it. Here's Perfect Portrait. If you click on this Perfect Portrait, it's going to show you down here in the bottom the before and the after. And on the right hand side in this picture, if you look at this, and for those in the radio audience, we're looking at a bunch of different layers. Now those layers are created when you run the action, so it makes it very easy to do. We don't have to create all this stuff by hand, but what makes it really cool is when you go back, you can edit any one of those layers to maybe change the effect a little bit and make it what you want to make it. Now, it says here that she updated September 2011. She updated the action here. So we'll click here and see where that's at. And yep, looks like she did update it. Yep, we'll scroll down a little bit. It's right there. There's the updated action. And I'm looking for the download link now is what I'm looking for here. So I'm just going to scroll down, looking to where we can download it. It's probably more on top here, I would guess. I did not have trouble this morning finding the download links, but that is part of it. Just trying to find the download links. We'll scroll the way down to the bottom maybe. Nope, nothing there. Again, this is live TV. Somebody once told me, Jack, why do you do this live stuff? Because you can really get lost in these actions. I don't understand why. Oh, here it is. Click here to download the portrait action. So you have to dig around a little bit. And we are now downloading a zipped file. Now, if you don't know what a zip file is, go to my YouTube videos. I'm sure I have a video on there talking about compression and zipping files and zipping utilities and how to use those. So we downloaded the file, and I'm going to right click on that and say show in Finder, and it goes to my download folders. Okay, if you're using Windows, folks, this happens to be a Mac, but if you're using Windows, it's going to be the same routine. It's going to go to your download folders, and all you got to do is right click on it, and you're going to unzip it. On a Mac, you'll use the archive utility. On your Windows computer, you're going to use uncompress, and you're going to uncompress that. And these are the files that we're looking for here at the top. These files are Coffeeshop Perfect Portrait PNG, PSD, JPEG, and JPEG there. So these are the different instructions for it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go back. Here's the actual action right here. Coffeeshop Perfect Portrait.atn. ATN, as you can see, there is an action. So now we have to go ahead and we're going to install that action into our Photoshop Elements editor. Okay, not the organizer, into the editor. Let's go out. We're going to do that. We're going to minimize this. We're going to minimize this one here. And it looks like Jessica actually found the blog post there. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jessica. Okay, folks, so, well, we don't want my notes. That's my show notes. Let me bring up my editor. Now, if you have your editor open, let me see here, make sure I get the whole thing open, and I do not. Let's change the region a little bit so we can see the whole editor. And right now, folks, we are in the Photoshop Elements 11 editor. If you look at installing actions on any version before this, please check out my my different videos there. You will definitely find one on there. Under the More button down here at the bottom right, let me drop my picture off of here. Hold on. And we're going to drop that off. Okay, there we go. Now, under the More button at the bottom right-hand side of Photoshop Elements 11 Editor, right at the bottom, click on the little pull-down menu, and right there you're going to see where it says Actions. Or you can also get on Actions. If you go up to the top and click on Window, you can click on Actions. So either way, at the very top or bottom, you can open the Actions panel. So this is our Actions panel right here in the middle. I'm going to actually select that for you so we can see this. Yeah, maybe we won't do that. Alright. So here's our Actions panel. What you're going to do on the Actions panel, there's a pull-down menu at the top right-hand side. The top right-hand side, there's a pull-down menu. Click that pull-down menu, and we're going to load an action. So we're going to install a new action into our Photoshop Elements editor. Folks, this doesn't get any easier to be able to put actions in here than this. So let's click on Load Actions. Now this is why it's critical to know where that action was placed. We know it was under our Downloads folder. And right here it is. Coffee Shop Perfect Portrait. And here's my action. All I have to do, remember before we had to actually unzip these, put them in a folder, rename the database, rebuild the database. We had to reopen the editor, rebuild that database, and then we had the action available. Now look how easy Photoshop has made this, Photoshop Elements has made this for us. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to click Open. And once you do that, you'll see here at the bottom, this is our Coffee Shop Perfect Portrait. And this is all of the different items that we're going to be working with right here. Alright. And Jessica asked, is this going to be on YouTube? This video will be entirely on YouTube. So I will post it on so you can rewatch it later. Also, the audio is going to be on iTunes. So if you want to listen and do the editing, you can listen and go by my voice and work your way through it. So either way, but it will definitely be on YouTube. Right here is the Perfect Portrait. All you got to do, folks, look at everything it does. First of all, it's going to start the Perfect Portrait, then it's going to stop. It's going to duplicate the first document. So we don't even have to duplicate our background image on this one. It's going to select the background. It's going to make a multiple adjustment layer. It's going to flatten the image. It's going to select the background. It's going to do a layer via copy. I'm going to pull this down a little bit and see if it's going to do any more stuff. Oh, look at that. It's pretty lengthy, and we're not going to talk about every one of these. We will be here all day long. But as you can see that it's basically just going through a set of commands. So when this was written in Photoshop, you hit the record button, and everything that was done to create the photo is going to be done for us in Photoshop Elements. And that's what we're going to do now. So to make this run, I have this portrait open here of the two young ladies that I was doing a photo shoot with for one of our Sunday morning sessions. I just click on the Coffee Shop Perfect Portrait right here, and then there's a little play button at the top right. There's a trash can, then there's a play selection, and then there's a stop playing. What we're going to do now is we're going to hit play selection, and it's going to go down through and start adding these effects to this actual picture. Let's go ahead and watch that happen. Okay, first thing it tells you is please adjust the color and contrast when the levels adjustment layer pops up. So it's going to walk you through each step. Hit continue. And here's the levels. I'm going to just leave them as the defaults. Hit OK. These are your levels. You can bring your background image, your colors down and up and do what you want to with it. Click OK. And you can see in that top right hand in our layers panel, it is making the duplicate layers. It's building those layers on its own, folks. I'm not touching anything. I wish you could see here. Matter of fact, right there's my hands. I'm not touching the mouse. I'm not doing anything. You can see everything is being done from that action. That action is building all those layers. It's adding filters. It's doing all this remarkable stuff for us. We don't have to touch a thing. Is this a time savings or what? Anybody see those commercials on TV? You know, yay, time saver. You know, what are those late Sunday night commercials? And at that point, right there, now the picture is actually completed for us. So that is all the edits that it did. You can see everything it did to that picture all the way down through. I'm going to take my face back off of here. And everything back through here, all these layers was created by simply running that action. And we can see here how it actually changed the picture. And I lost my other computer here. I'm trying to use like 3 computers this morning at one time. There we go. So right here, that is done now. We just close that action. This is our original picture that we started with. And this is the picture now. Again, original. And the picture now. I like this. It has a lot more shadows in their hair. Look at their hair, the difference in their hair. Right around here. Watch this girl's blonde hair on this left side. And for the radio audience, what we're doing now is we're comparing the two pictures. On the left, we have a young girl with blonde hair, and mom has dark hair. And when we look at the edited copy, the girl's blonde hair now actually has like major highlights in it from using this edit. And the black hair is actually darker and more shadowed. It really looks sensational, I think. I think it's a really, really great edit, and that works well. So once again, folks, to get your actions, we're going to re-generate this whole thing here. Well, as soon as I find my browser here. There we go. You will go to thecoffeeshopblog.com, and you will look at the free stuff. You will go to the free stuff, and you will simply click on Photoshop PSE Actions and Presets. That will put you in the actions and presets. You go down through and you can find an action to install. I think, you know what, for the fun of it, we're going to do one more, because I've seen one here. I did this class a while ago too, and it was pretty lengthy to create this effect. So I'm looking for it here. I just seen it earlier. Well, at least I thought I did anyway. That was the one I wanted. I thought I seen it. Well, maybe not. It was up here, actually. What I'm looking for, I thought there was one in here, and you guys can probably find it on your own sometime, but it is for to create a Polaroid. The Polaroid here. That's a portrait toolbox. I don't want that one. There's an actual Polaroid. It looked really interesting, but I'll see it now. Oh yeah, Polaroid Effect. Now, folks, we did this a while ago, and what we did was we took a picture and we actually added a background. We extended the background to it, and you can find that in my videos on YouTube. And once we extend that background image, what we did was we added a border to it, and we made it look like a Polaroid. But this is an effect here. And again, if you can find the download folder, the download file, it says download the free Polaroid effect at Mediafire. Now, anybody knows what Mediafire is? I'm not sure. Okay. It's just a download. I'm going to again right click it, show it in Finder, or you're going to show it in your Windows Explorer if you're using Windows. We're going to right click and we're going to extract it again, folks. So we'll just extract this action. And I will go back to the questions there as soon as we get done adding this action. So here's the action. I'm just close this out. We don't need that anymore. go back into my Photoshop. There. Go down to Window, Actions. And this time we're going to add this other action. So I'll click the pull down menu on the top right, load the action. And we're going to add the Polaroid Effect. Click on there. And folks, there's no limit to the number of actions you can load on your Photoshop elements. So many people email me all the time, Jack, if I add all this stuff, is it going to slow elements down? And it does not, because these files aren't read until you're using them. So when it loads, installs, it's not seeing anything different. It's just simply going to run and do what it's supposed to do. Here is the Polaroid Effect. We're going to run this on the same portrait and see what it looks like. And again, let's see how much time it shows. You guys, a lot of you guys in here I see this morning was here with me before when we created the Polaroid Effect. So I'm sure you remember, how long that took us to create that edit. Let's see how this one runs. We're going to run this action right here. Welcome to the Polaroid action. Continue. And we're going to let her go and see what happens there. All right. This is the one where you have to pull this out. I think I remember doing this before. And we're going to pull it out some more. We'll pull it over here a little bit. And what we're doing now is we're trying to center this crop box. And then we'll click OK. And at that point, it's going to give us the amount of unsharpening mask. Click OK. And it's giving us a width and a height. And it looks like we probably should add some to this. We're going to make the width 1200 and a height that. Click OK. And we're going to see if we get anything out of this here. Yep. That's live TV for you. It's looking for, I think it's looking for some text actually. Nope. I don't know what it's looking for there. Okay. Alright, so I think the action is actually hung up there somewhere on that one. The Polaroid Effect, I shouldn't have picked this one. I know I played with this before and it didn't work out too well. Click the checkbox there. Yeah. So I'm going to have to play around with that again next time. Again, this is live TV. The big thing is that you have to be able to watch how to install the action. Not so much the action running, because that one didn't work the way I wanted it to. And if it doesn't, here's a good thing though. If it doesn't and your picture's sitting like this, you're like, wow, that didn't quite work out like I wanted to. Folks, just go to Edit and go to Revert. That'll take you back to the original picture. Edit and Revert. Alright, that's going to take you back to the actual picture itself. Alright, bring us back over here. And we'll bring this back up. There we go. Okay. I just got to bring my notes back up here again to see where we're at. See if we're on task. And yep, everything is good. Okay, so I'm just seeing if we have any more questions in there. Yeah, it looks like Kevin might have had something to do. He might have took off and hit the road there. Or maybe he had a computer crash or something could have happened. We don't know. And folks, if you're listening to this on iTunes through a podcast, or you're watching this on YouTube, this is streamed live Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on justin.tv/JacksTechCorner. And you can find that if you go to my website, thephotographyguy.net. You'll find more information about that. Okay. So anyway, there was a couple questions earlier. First, will this be on YouTube? I covered that. Yes, it will be on YouTube. It will be available for everybody to watch there. Let's see here. And Judith was talking about maybe a nice way to mask off 50% or so is to get a little effect, but not so drastic. And that is true. Brian actually liked the hair to be a little lighter in that first picture instead of the darker. I kind of would like to do it both ways, I guess, and maybe put them together in one frame. I think that could be cool. That could be a good look. Oh, Kevin is back. He is there. He just wasn't talking, so you folks thought that he was gone. All right. Very good, Kev. Glad you made it back in. Or I don't think you left. I think you were there just not talking. That's probably what it was. So, okay, folks. Now we're going to go on here, and we're going to use the Magic Extractor. And I am using my Wacom board, whatever you want to call it. Some people say Wacom, some people say Wacom, some people say tomato, some people say tomato, right? Or potato or potato. Nobody says potato, right? Anyway, so we are going to go ahead and get into that now. Judy was talking about, Jessica. I've been able to mess with the action and do a little with her stuff, the stuff from that website is really good. I've used that stuff for years. I think I've even showed that before to you guys out there, and we talked about before about that actual website there, how the coffeeshopblog.com. And I don't know how she's actually homeschooling 2 young children and writing actions and doing photography, but I guess she's doing it pretty well. Okay, so now we're going to play around a little bit with this extraction. Okay, so bear with me. My main goal is to show you the Magic Extractor and show you that it's available, because so many of us try to use the background eraser tool, try to use a way to delete the backgrounds, try to do a way to select the background, delete it. There's so many ways, but the Magic Extractor tool is built into Elements, and it's very easy to use. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to do that now. Let me just minimize this and get our screen set up here. There we go. Oh, my point of focus was probably bad on this picture. I probably shouldn't show you this picture. No, I will. I'm going to show you this picture. And let me bring this up here. And here we go. So here's the picture we are dealing with here. And make sure you can see my toolbox here. Just bring the whole thing up there. There we go. Alright. So this is a picture of Comet. Comet's been on the show before. Comet is my dog. We had him out the park taking a little walk, and he was in the grass. And I thought, well, it'd be nice to change that background a little bit and move him around. So we're going to do that with this. I think Kevin was asking for the website link. Kevin, it is, if you're asking for that one, it's thecoffeeshopblog.com. Thecoffeeshopblog.com. Somebody be so nice and throw it in the chat room there so everybody will have that. That would be great. Alright, so here we're going to do some magic extracting. So if we go under the pull down menu for image, we can go down to Magic Extractor. Or there's a keyboard shortcut which is about 5 keys, which I don't think I can remember any of those. So we're going to hit the Magic Extractor. And then I'm going to resize it again so we can see it, see what's happening here, see how this works. And folks, remember when we're doing these sessions, I may have showed some of this before, but we always have new people coming into photography and we want to cover everybody. And it's always good to have a refresher. When I do these shows, this is a great refresher for me. That's why I love doing these so much. Okay, so we have the Magic Extractor open. Once again, it was under Image and then Magic Extractor. Now, we have 2 different areas here. We have a foreground color is going to be red, and the background color is going to be blue. And your brush size is 20 pixels. 20 pixels. Okay. Now, we are going to go over first and start selecting our foreground, which would be the puppy. You can also use your left and right bracket keys to make your brush size bigger. And we are just going to start going over with some red for the puppy here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You're giving Elements just an idea. We don't have to color by numbers or color in the lines. We don't have to do anything like that. This is just a rough little draft here. You're going to see we're going to try to pull some of that grass out. I like looking at the edges, especially on the hair, because it seems to work better when you're trying to find the edges of the hair. And you're going to lose some of those, folks. Even when you take, say if you take a picture of a female and they got that long flowing hair, you're going to lose some of that hair in the picture. It's just going to happen. You're not going to get all of it. There is some third-party tools you can buy out there. I know Kevin showed me one before. I don't remember the name of it. But I still like to do it the old-fashioned way, I guess. I just got to use it. In this part here, I'm just like coloring some of this, saying, hey, this is what I want. Okay, this is my foreground tool. This is what I want to keep, my foreground. Then we're going to go over here. We're going to click on our background tool, or background eraser. Not eraser, I'm sorry. The background highlighter. And now when you go, this should be blue. You can see now where it's blue, because our background area is blue. All right, we're going to do the same thing. Again, you could just go around the person, the thing, whatever you're cutting out. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. And again, I am using the Wacom board, so I can just draw with a pen-like motion across this thing. If you don't have a Wacom, I think now they're called the Bamboo. A lot of you guys went out and bought the Bamboos, so that's great. Alright, just color over some of this and say, hey, this is what we don't want. Right here, right here. Again, it doesn't have to be great, doesn't have to be big, you don't have to be colored all in. It just needs to pick up some ideas of what we don't want. Just like so. Not a big deal. Very easy to do here. Very, very easy. Alright. That's pretty good. We're going to try that and see what happens. Now we're going to press on the preview button. Not OK. Preview. And that's going to give us a preview of what's going on. So we are pressing the preview button to get a preview. The computer is going, please don't do this to me. Don't kill me. And we're trying to get a good preview. There is our preview. So it's not that bad. It looks pretty good. I can see some blue, some green up around here at the back. So I'll just go back here and add some blue to that. And it looks pretty good right there. Again, we can hit preview again. And we'll just see if it picked that up and get rid of that little bit of green back there. And unfortunately, it looks like it's going to preview the whole entire picture. Okay. This is Photoshop Elements 11. But the Magic Extractor is in Photoshop Elements 10 also. I believe it's even farther back. I think it was in 9, if I remember right, when I did the videos. Okay. So we see that. We see all that stuff in there. And if you wanted to take out some of this green, I would suggest to do that once we get back into Elements. Okay. This is just to get the overall big bulk of the extraction done for you and get it cleaned up. Okay. And Mike said it goes all the way back to Photoshop Elements 7. Thanks, Mike. Click OK, and there we go. There's our dog. Pretty much extracted at this point. Now what we want to do is we can clean up some of this stuff, and this is where you could use that background eraser. If you did that, if you use the background eraser and you drop the tolerance, okay, that tolerance is what's going to kill you. If you have it all the way up, you're going to really knock some stuff out. I would start low first. The tolerance is down on the bottom toolbar in Elements 11. In Elements, anything before 11, it's on the top toolbar. And you can go up here now, and we can erase some of this stuff. That's what I said. See, you want to make sure the tolerance is not set too high, because you could start taking too much of the fur. We can click on discontinuous, so we can maybe try to go across there a little bit easier without getting rid of all the fur, the edges of the fur or hair. Again, you may want to take that tolerance down a little bit more. Down to 5. And if you take it at 5, you can see where it starts to really get to the point where it gets cleaned up there a little bit. We're going to not... There you go. Right there. So you're just cleaning it up now. Like that grass looks like it's going up his nose. It probably was because he was eating it. And you could just clean this stuff up here. But as you can see, you go in and out of this hair right here, in and out of the hair up at the top of this picture. And if that tolerance is low enough, you're not going to blow it all out. You're going to keep some of the edges. That's what you want. You want the edges of the hair. Because if you do a portrait and you make a lady bald, it's not going to be a good portrait, folks. Something to think about, I think. We're just going to get right up here and clean that up like that. So you get the idea. Again, just come in this hair back and forth. It's looking for the green is what we're trying to find there to get rid of that. And again, I always taught you before, the extraction is, the edit is as good as the extractor. So if you take your time and you make it decent, then you're going to have a good extraction. This part here where the grass is on his leg, I would use the other tool, something on the lines of the content aware tool. I would make my brush smaller, and I would just go over that because that's going to blend it in with his hair. And just use content aware for the grass or something on the subject. Don't try to erase it because it's not going to erase it properly, so you just want to use content aware, clean that up, and you'll be good to go. Anything can be fixed, right? Except a blurry picture. And they're even working on that. They're actually working on blurry pictures to see if they can get that fixed up also. So there you go. Very easy. I do have to set... My other computer keeps going to sleep, and I have to keep typing my password in. And that happens. But hey, I got to fix that up too. Okay, so there you go. That's the way we would do an extraction. And then you would just replenish, put the background in, do whatever you want to in the background side of it. And you can once again make it look relatively decent. So no biggie there. Very easy to do using the Magic Extractor tool to get the big stuff out. And then once you do that, go back in with your other tool and clean it up a little bit, and you'd be good to go. So I'm just seeing there if there's any questions this morning we have going on. Anybody have any questions out there at all before we start getting ready to wrap up there this morning for this Sunday? I'm glad to see everybody's coming back there. The show title has changed, but the content has not, and your participation is still great and much appreciated. That's really why I wanted to bring these back, because so many of you emailed me and said, Jack, bring the photography stuff back. It was fun. And I don't know. So anyway, but the photography guy, like I said, the photography guy has been around for a while. Obviously, this is show number, I think I said 26. So we've been here podcasting for all summer long. So I've been doing those shows and putting them out there for audio. And now we have the video content also, so you can follow along video-wise like we always did. And I'm still working here. I'm building the studio here to give me more room to work. And that's the big thing, is having enough room to do these and to to edit, to photo edit, and to broadcast at the same time. So okay, folks, so hearing nothing, we are going to be wrapping this show up. I would first of all like to thank you for tuning into this show. If you are pulling this down from iTunes as a podcast, please watch and subscribe to my YouTube videos. And those videos can be found at 42technoman. So it's youtube.com/42technoman. Check out the website. The website is thephotographyguy.net. I'd like you to stop over there, get a little traffic on that website. If you want to help the show out, I think the Amazon link is up on there. If you buy anything from Amazon, click that link and just buy your stuff normally, and that's going to help the show out because we'll get like 0.5% or something from whatever you buy. So it definitely helps out, and I do appreciate that. I will be back here next Sunday morning, once again at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at justin.tv/Jack's Tech Corner. So I hope you can join me live, and it'd be nice to see you. But if not, subscribe to the videos on YouTube, and please subscribe to the podcast and pull that down. I would gladly appreciate that. So everybody, take care until next week. And remember, as always, keep those shutters clicking, keep your photo editors editing, and I'll see everybody back here next week for another Photography Guy. Bye, and take care. Thanks for tuning into The Photography Guy. I am a photography guy, and I'll be here once again next time for more photography tips and tricks. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the show and enjoy the music.